For most of us, asking for help doesn't come that easily. Lots of us struggle to reach out, but behavioral expert Dr. Gregory Jantz says help is a three-step process that we can all learn, and he's here to explain. I'm glad you're here.
And sometimes we all get a turn, Margaret.
Yeah.
We all need a little help sometime.
Yes, we had World Mental Health Day the other day, and I thought, I don't know anyone who hasn't run into a part of their life that they couldn't necessarily handle on their own.
Okay, it's called being a human being.
Yes, exactly. So nothing to be ashamed of, and that's part of it. Why is it hard for us to reach out sometimes or to say, I can't just tough this out?
Yeah, sometimes I think in culture it also says I'm supposed to be able to figure everything out. I can go to Dr. Google and ask most things, right? So I should figure this out. But one of the things we need to do is be willing to receive help. But we've got to have an awareness, hey, I could use some help here. There's guilt, there's shame, there's things that get in the way.
Self-image sometimes, you know, I'm capable, I should be able to figure this out. I've said that to myself before,
you know,
and been wrong.
I've been in the helping professions now for 36 years. Sounds weird to say that. And people, in order to get to us at the center, they've got to be willing to say, I need some help.
Well, let's talk about these three steps. And your first one is recognizing help is needed. And that sounds so easy, like we should be able to, you know, your mother has passed, something has gone on, you're in, you know, terrible pain. But really recognizing it, what does that involve?
Well, to recognize it means I understand that something's out of order, and I need to be willing to move beyond denial. Because sometimes I go, no, I can handle this, but it's been 6 months and I'm not handling it. I also know if I'm doing escapism behaviors to cope with something, maybe you use the example of grief or loss. Well, maybe I've turned to alcohol or drugs. I'm doing something to self-medicate, and that's taken me down another path I don't really want to go into. Might
we also listen to those around us?
Yeah. Oh, yes. I'm glad you said that. Absolutely.
Because sometimes they notice more than we notice.
Yeah,
that
those that are close to us, either at home or in the workplace, which it may be the hardest to receive information from those closest to us. But we've got to have a listening ear to that.
Yes, finding help. This is something that I hear people talk about all the time, that they either, maybe they find a counselor they don't fit very well with, or they, you know, have an adolescent who's looking for somebody and they can't get in. It's going to be 6 months. Tell me about your best practices for finding the right help.
Oh, absolutely. First of all, we need to know what we're asking for. So if it's depression, anxiety, something that we see a lot, we've got to be willing to pick up the phone and gather information. So see yourself as, I'm just going to gather information, find out what my options are. You know, we may make excuses. Well, I can't afford it, but you don't know what the options are.
Right. We don't know yet.
You don't know yet.
Until you ask.
And I always say, call 3 different places or 3 different individuals. Okay? And then give everything a 3-session try. Sometimes you'll go to somebody and go, I don't think so. But give it a fair chance.
And see how it goes.
I've seen so many folks go, wow, I'm so glad I waited this out a little bit. This is what I needed.
Because it's hard to know in a first session. Among those 3 people that you call at the beginning, should one of those be your primary care doctor? Can they really help?
I do think starting with the physician and saying, here's some things I'm dealing with, because we always want to cover the medical side of things. So there's sometimes, maybe if it's depression, there's something could be going on medically. That's why our team, we always do blood work, we do a medical workup. We want to know what else is potentially going on that could be influencing you.
Because there very well could be some things.
And some of our docs have some great referrals.
Yes. So that leads me to the third thing, which is accepting help. You know, it's all well and good to go and listen to somebody, but if you won't accept what's being said or aren't willing to change or can't take that information in, you've kind of built up your walls, then it's not that useful.
Yeah. If we do that old thing, well, thank you very much. I got the help I needed. Yeah, you know, I'll keep your number just in case.
Right.
You know, we've got to receive the help. And that means you've got to be willing to listen, receive, and then the next thing is I've got to take some action steps. Help is about having a plan. Now, hope comes when we have a plan. So I'm going to seek help. I'm going to create, with the help of a counselor or whoever it is, a doctor, I'm going to create a plan of hope. And that means I've got to take some action steps. That's the hard part. So I probably need accountability. That's why I need to come back for the 3rd session.
Yeah, exactly. And I hear you with all of this. kind of keep an open mind. Be
Yes.
willing to give it a try, whether you're picking up the phone for that first, where's help, to the very end of the process. Just try it. Give it a try.
Usually you will not regret that. I say usually. Sometimes there's situations that didn't end up being the best, but don't give up on the helping process.
Just because of that.
Oh, absolutely.
Have we kind of been conditioned not to reach out? You mentioned like the Google thing. I see that all the time with people who are like sick and they look it up, and I'm like,
yeah.
I don't think that's how this works.
We're instant answers, and then we self-diagnose ourselves. Right. Yeah. The person goes, you know what, I've just read, I think I'm bipolar.
Right.
What?
It would be probably better to get a professional opinion. So pushing outside of that conditioning that we can
it's
just
okay
do
to
this
gather
by
information, I'd say, but look, go to a professional and discuss the information you're finding.
And then be really honest. I had a friend just recently who went to a counselor who said, well, I'm going to talk about A, B, and C, and then got there, and it turned out that the counselor kind of pushed underneath that, and a whole bunch of new stuff came forward. And I thought that was kind of great, because there was this excavation process that looks like it was pretty cool. Is there a gender difference between men and women when we go in for help?
Okay, I'm going to tell you what we're discovering. Now, we work with individuals coming in from all over the country who are seeking help for depression and anxiety. We run about 30% men. We're seeing more men than ever before who are asking for help. And honestly, I love that. So I don't think there's as much as there was previously. And sometimes it's men coming in, well, I was depressed and anxious, so I started drinking, and I regret that. I need some help.
We just want them to go forward, right? Everybody, all human beings.
Absolutely.
And guys, you don't have to tough it out. Women, you don't have to tough it out.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you so very much.
There really is help.
There is help and there's hope.
Thank you.
And so that's one of the things that we wanted to emphasize today. Thank you very much.